I was still talking to some other woman at that time, right?
I told y'all he be hoeing.
There was a particular girl I was talking to, and we were supposed to link up, right? And she had told me like, "Yo, I'm gonna send you a message. I'm gonna send you a text one of these days, and when you're ready, like we're gonna link up."
Don't link up. Y'all know what that means.
I'm not thinking anything of it, right? One day I think I text her and I'm just like, "Yo, what's up? It's been a minute and whatnot." And she was like, "Yo, you mad funny." And I was like, "Bro, what are you talking about?" And she was like, "Yo, you talk mad mess. Like you talk all this game and whatnot." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she was like, "Yo, I sent you the text message and you ghosted me." And I was like, "Bro, I'm looking through the text like flip my fault." I was flipping. What are you talking about? Like, I see no message, no nothing from her. She sends me a message, a screenshot of her responding, not once but twice. It didn't get to my phone at all.
Look at Holy Spirit. Hey everybody, welcome back to Not Another Relationship Pod. First of all, let's talk about the amazing response we got last episode.
Thank you guys.
Yes.
That was a very transparent episode, and Nicole and I were just floored by the amazing love that we got, the amazing responses that we got.
Yeah.
A lot of different people I did not expect to actually reach out to us. So we thank you for that. I think that is our highest viewed video so far.
Yeah.
So thank you. And to the people listening, thank you as well.
Yeah. Like we said last episode, it's a part of a conversation. We are still working through that. And we hope to be even more transparent about that in episodes moving forward. But as you guys can see, got some newness happening, right? We done leveled up in life.
We leveled up. So for people that are listening to on Spotify, iTunes, and all that,
yeah,
you guys are hearing amazing, crisp audio.
We hope it's crisp.
We hope so, but I know it is. I pay good money for this stuff. Okay. New lights, new mics.
Yeah.
Just new. Same transparency though.
Yeah.
Before we really get into our topic, I just want to say, when you fully believe in your dream, invest in it.
Come on.
Invest. And that looks different for everybody. All right. I took the money that I got from commissions and I was like, you know what? I believe in this podcast. I believe what God has given us, and I'm going to invest. This setup looks dope. I want to hear your responses, but yeah, we're excited for what this podcast is going to do, how far this podcast is going to go.
Yeah.
And we just thank you guys for joining us in this amazing journey.
Yes.
But let's get into today's topic.
Let's do it. So today we are talking about our beautiful story. We are on the eve, kind of, sort of, like a couple of days from the eve of our 1 year anniversary. So Neil and I have been married for almost a year. We got married June 25th last year, and so much has happened in that year. Obviously, we have a baby now. Did not expect that to happen.
No.
But our story before that is actually very unique, and I think it's something that can inspire not just married couples, but also singles at the same time. Because when we met, I know for me personally, I was in a very weird space as it pertains to dating, and I was just tired. I ran out of energy, and I know we hear that often when it comes to some of our single friends, as far as like, it's just ghetto out in the dating streets. And I've heard some of the story. I've seen some of the stories. It's very ghetto out there. Very, very ghetto.
It's very ghetto.
But there's hope.
There is hope.
Yeah.
There is hope. So let's get into our beautiful, amazing.
Who are we trusting to tell this story, Neil Malcolm?
I'm trusting myself to tell this story.
I don't trust him.
Because I tell the truth. Okay.
I don't trust him. I'll let you give it a go, and I'll jump in when I feel like you're not telling the truth.
Anyway, this story starts in 2018. And we're going there.
Why do you have to start there?
We're going to start there. 2018 was a very rough and I want to say traumatic year for me. I got let go. Well, not even let go. I got let go from a job. I wasn't able to go back to college. I was just down. I had Nicole on my Instagram for a very long time. To this day, we still don't know who followed who, why we followed
You
each
followed
other.
me first. I do know. It was 2016.
That's a cap.
No, it's not.
There's no proof.
No, it's see, I told you. I cannot trust him to tell the story.
Let me finish. So again, I'm not sure who followed who, but but I saw her, and even when I was in college, I would see Nicole post all these, like, I guess just scriptures that she would be reading, devotions that she would be doing, and a lot of it did help me while I was in college. So during that time of 2018, for whatever reason, I decided to reach out to her. I don't know what picture, whatever I saw, but I decided to reach out to her. And me thinking I was smooth, I told her, like, hey, let's go and get like coffee. Let's go and get coffee and like sit
super
down
artsy
and talk about like creativity, because we're both like creatives and whatnot. She responds and says, yes, I would love to.
I did.
Malcolm McKnight.
I didn't know his middle name nor his last name, even though it's in his username, but whatever.
She responds, yes, no problem. When I come back to New York for Thanksgiving, we can do that. So I am geeked. I am super geeked. I'm like, yo, Shorty's a baddie. It's lit. But I'm like,
you thought I was a baddie?
I did. But I was like, yo, I gotta be calm. I can't get crazy or anything like that. Stay calm. Neil Malcolm McKnight. So she tells me this. I think I drew a picture for her and whatnot.
That looked nothing like me.
That looked nothing like her, but I did it. Right. And time comes for us to hang out. I hit her up and she says, sorry, things got super busy and whatnot. I'm not able to hang out. So I'm like, it's okay. I don't really care. Like, all right, whatever. So she says, but we can hang out after New Year's. Right. So again,
yes,
your boy is geeked. I'm super geeked. But during that time, I'm also very nervous because I just didn't have a lot of things that I thought I should have at that time. I knew Nicole was fully into her career. She had her own place, her own car, and I'm still living with my parents. I have no college degree. I am making $12 an hour. Like, not great stuff. Not great stuff going on. My credit score looked like a jersey number on the NBA. Some NBA team was not good. But I was like, yo, let me have this confidence and whatnot. And I'm excited for it to happen. Hold on, you got like an eyelash.
I'll
right?
get it. Okay.
There we go. You got
Thank you. That's why you need a helpmate.
You do. Anyway, yeah, she tells me this. I'm super excited. And long behold, one day I'm on her Instagram and I'm just scrolling through her
Oh,
Instagram.
your Trinity roots kicked in.
Yeah. I'm on her Instagram and I'm scrolling, and on her story, she's like getting a massage with Bae.
Or like couples massage. Something like that.
I was like, Bae? Who's Bae? Maybe she's talking about a friend. Maybe she's talking about her friend. And I'm like, no, there's no way. I'm like, nah, she ain't got no bae. I would have seen that joint. So I'm like, nah, I gotta know. Does she really got a boy? She got a boyfriend? So I did the most corniest thing possible.
I'm gonna find the text. Keep talking.
I did the most corniest thing possible. And we'll probably even put the text up for those that are on YouTube.
I'm gonna find it.
I did the corniest thing possible. And I said, man, you broke a lot of guys.
Oh, here it is. I found it. Oh, look at how quickly I found it. So it says this was December 2nd, 2018, 4:31 p.m. You just crushed several guys' hearts with this post. I go, LMAO, but most of the people that watch my stories know about him. They just haven't seen his face. I post him every now and again, so clearly Neil wasn't paying that much attention to me, because I'd been posting Wizard Kelly, as I called him at the time, multiple times. Neil goes, still believe you lost some followers and respect how you keep it low. Not like you're hiding him, but like you're protecting the relationship from social media antics. I hearted it and did not respond after that until like a couple of days later.
Ghosted your boy.
It's not that I ghosted him. I was just like, oh, he likes me. I feel bad. When?
Ghosted your boy. First of all, and we're not even going to talk about the fact that she decided to go out on a date with a guy while she was in a relationship.
I didn't go out on a date with him. It was not a date. I met up with somebody at the time that I considered a friend. I don't think that person knew I was in a relationship because we hadn't been like newly friends. And like I have guy friends and girlfriends. And this was another creative at the time. And I was just like, oh, this is cool. When I mentioned my boyfriend at like lunch, he was like, oh,
baby,
you have a boyfriend?
I wasn't even talking about that situation.
Oh, what?
So there's the guilt, ladies and gentlemen. You see? Do y'all see? Hey, she was stringing along the guys.
No,
right?
I wasn't.
Anyway, I was talking about me.
Oh.
Anyway, I digress. I was over it. I was done. But I also needed to do a lot of work on my heart. I was not in a good place mentally. And I think if we've always talked about that, I think if that relationship would have started during that point, I would have ruined it.
Yeah.
Completely. My heart just wasn't in a right place. So fast forward, it is April or May, sometime around that time. I think a few months or like maybe like a week after Nipsey passed.
Yeah, it was a couple of weeks.
Nicole hits me up to do a piece, and we hadn't spoken since January. And she hits me up to do an art piece. I say yes because I really need the bread at the time. At that time, I had no other job besides just being a full-time artist, and it was not paying. And I had a phone bill to pay. So I took the commission from her.
Pause. If you follow Neil on Instagram, you know what Nipsey piece we're talking about. It's the only Nipsey piece he's done. The genre is fire. It's gone viral. If you want to know how much he charged me for it, it should go for like thousands of dollars. He charged me $125, ladies and gentlemen. That's 125 singles. I don't know how many pennies, nickels, and dimes. I'm not great at math. But $125. Continue.
$125. I did not know my worth at that time.
Clearly. That's why he needs me.
So I charged that. I do the piece. She loves it. Everything's great. We stopped talking from that point, right? I'll also throw this in. She gave me her number. Your boy did not take it. You gave me the number.
I did.
You did.
But I gave it to you for business reasons.
She was feeling your boy.
No, I was not.
Anyway, she gave me
I was still heartbroken off of the relationship that I had just got out of.
Okay. So there we go. We fast forward to July, August, around that time. I'm cool. I'm talking to a few people. I finally get in this mindset of like, hey, I'm tired of taking the back seat and not dating. So fast forward to July, August. I started dating a few people. I finally got in that mindset that I was just gonna finally put myself out there, not be afraid, and just have certain people out on dates. So I had some good experiences, some bad experiences. Overall, it wasn't that great. And I saw Nicole's page, and at that time she was posting about this poetry book that she was doing, and it seemed as if she had broken up with the person that she was with. So me being me, I was kind of hyped. I was like, whoa, she's single. But around that time, I was still like, yo, if she is single, I don't want to mess up and become a distraction for her. Yeah. And one, I don't even think she would go for anybody like me, right? So I happened to be talking to one of my close friends at the time, Alex, and Alex was hitting me up, right? And we were texting back and forth and whatnot, talking about Nicole and the person that she's with currently right now. And I was just like, yo, it'd be dope to date Nicole. It'd be dope. I bought her book.
He did.
I bought her book.
He helped me pay a bill.
Yeah, I bought her book to figure out if she was single or not because I didn't have the courage to ask her. So I bought her book. I read that book in maybe like 10 minutes tops, yo.
That was a long book.
Yeah, I knocked that book out. It was good writing. One, I wanted to see if she was actually like a good like poet.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she's actually dope because I wasn't too sure. So I read the book.
Nice.
I read the book in like one sitting, and I was still very confused as to if she was dating.
Oh my God. It was very clear.
I was like, I don't know. It seems like she loves this guy.
I did.
I was like, yo, I'm so confused right now. I have no clue if she is or if she isn't. So I remember hitting her up about the book. I tried to be super poetic at the time, telling her like something about, yo, this book reminds me of like
some like song or like
I don't know.
It was smooth. And I couldn't see his game at the time. I could not. I don't know why, because now I can see Neil all the way through. But right. I was like, yo, he's really dope. He's really smooth. I like him.
I was showing that I'm a poet as well.
You were.
But I was also like, yo, I need to chill out because I don't know if my heart's still in the right place. I was still at that time trying to talk to somebody. So I was like, I don't know if this is even the right time for me to even be doing that. Fast forward. I hit her up again, right? August. And I was like, yo, like, let's link.
Yes.
Let's link up.
Yes.
And she gives me November yet again, guys. I got trust issues. So she was like, yo, let's link up for November. I'll be back in New York. At the time, she lived in Maryland. So I'm like, yo, all right, bet. We're going to link up. Don't ghost me. That was my only thing. Don't ghost me. It was August. I had all this time to wait. Yep. I didn't know what was going to happen. And I truly was like, yo, if nothing comes from it, it'd be dope just to link up with her. It'd be dope just to sit down and talk to her. Right. Because I'm like, yo, it seems like she's really dope. And I just remember kept telling myself, yo, Nicole would be a really dope person to like date. But I was like, I don't know this person.
Yeah.
And mind you, we got mutual friends and whatnot. We went to the same
youth group when we were kids, but we just never crossed paths. We were at the same Christian rap concert at that same church, never crossed paths. Some of his best friends are like my big brothers, and they have been for over 10 years. Still never had crossed paths. So it was just very interesting. And I think one day he had asked me like, yo, how do you know these people? And I told him like, I went to camp with them and I also went to the youth group, whatever. So it's still very strange how we never crossed paths, but God was hiding us from each other clearly. And he was talking about August. So around this same time where we had agreed to meet up, I went on vacation with an old friend of mine. And the last night of our vacation, we had wrote letters to each other's future husbands. And at the time, like, I was like, okay, this is just like ridiculous because I was heartbroken. Like, I just broke up with my ex of like 6 years on and off again. And I was like, you know what? I'm actually good. Like, if I don't get married, I'm good. Like, I'm in a really good space. I love my life. I love the life that I've created for myself. I love my career. And yeah, if I don't ever get married but have a very successful career, I'm okay with it. Yeah, I built this great life for myself. I loved my career. I had my own place that I loved, like all these things that actually did make me happy, honestly. And I was content. Outside of those things, I was content with myself. So yeah, if I never got married, I was okay with it. So after we wrote that letter to each other's husbands or whatever, I get back to Maryland, and that Monday I go back to work. Roughest Monday back to work of my life. And I remember posting on Instagram if somebody was in need of prayer, like let me know, send me a prayer request, and I would pray for you back. So Neil was one of the people that filled out like the little question box for a prayer request. I do not remember what he prayed for, but I sent him a prayer. And I sent him like a paragraph. And back then, like I was intentional about sending people prayers back because I wanted them to know, like, I'm not just saying like, hey, I'm going to pray for you, but actually being intentional about it. So I prayed for him. I sent him the message, and he was the only person that sent me a prayer back. And he sent a voice note. So instead of texting it, he sent me a voice note. And at the time, my mom was staying with me. She normally used to visit me every summer. And that was the week that she chose to stay with me. And I was about to go take a nap after work. So I'm listening to the voice note. And Neil is like speaking to every single area of my life, from my heartbreak to my career to certain things that like only somebody that knew me intimately would know. So I'm like, yo, God had to tell him these things because I never told him any of this. I don't even know this man. So I'm listening to this voice note and I was laying down and I like jumped up out of like light sleep. And I'm like, what the heck? So I walk out of my bedroom and my mom's in the kitchen and she goes, I thought you were supposed to be taking a nap. What the heck is wrong with you? And I'm gonna go, Mom, like this guy from Instagram just prayed for me and things that like only people like you would know, like people that know me intimately would know he's praying about. And she goes, oh. And then she like ignored it. And then I was like, oh, whatever. So I went back into my room and I remember saying to myself, I want my husband to pray for me like this.
Yeah. That it's funny hearing you say that right now because I honestly forgot that I even did that.
That is a pivotal part of our story, bro.
I haven't thought about.
How do you forget that?
I haven't thought about that in a minute, but yeah, I just remember. Usually, like some people like would post and say like, "Hey, if you need prayer, like reach out and whatnot."
Yeah.
So I was shocked that you even responded back, and I remember telling Alex, and I was like, "Yo, Alex, she just sent me this whole essay, this whole entire essay," and at that time I was going through a lot as well. I was still trying to figure out like, yo, God, what are you doing with my life right now? Like I had lost some friends during that time. It was a lot just going on. And you just started the same way you said I spoke to you, you were speaking to me. And I was like, yo, like I needed this joint.
Yeah.
I needed that joint. And I was like, I feel like I should pray for her. But and people that's in the Christian world, they get it, right? There are some Christian guys that
it's predatory.
They will try to show off by praying and looking super, super spiritual and whatnot. And thus saith the Lord God. I just wanna, can I lay hands on you? Can I just pray?
I'm sorry, my rap is wrapped nicely.
Anyway, that's what a lot of Christian guys would do, and Christian women as well.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to come off that way. So I remember praying for the prayer. Right?
Really?
And I was praying to God and I was just like, yo, God, humble my heart. Like, if there's any piece of me that's in that, remove it. And also, I was struggling with just even believing that I was hearing from God and whatnot. Like, I don't know. I had a lot of trust issues when it came to just hearing God's voice, believing that, God was really speaking through me. So when I did that and you responded back, I wasn't sure if you were going to be like, yo, I thought you were gonna just be like, wow, thank you, pal, and just leave it like that. But you sent like a whole message back.
Yeah, so I sent an essay as a prayer, and then I sent an essay in response to his prayer because it literally spoke to everything.
Yeah.
Every single aspect. And from there, I guess you can say like our friendship kind of evolved and started because I was talking to him from then like at least once or twice a week. So whether it was about hip hop or whether it was about movies, he had recommended this movie, American Son, I think it was. That was on Netflix. And I remember watching it. And I don't know if I called you on Instagram. Did I like FaceTime you on Instagram?
I think you might have FaceTime me on Instagram.
Because I didn't have your number at the time. I might have FaceTime you on Instagram because I was like, yo, I need to talk to somebody about this. And he's the one that like recommended it. So I need to talk to him.
I've left my phone upstairs. I was downstairs talking to my dad. I came back upstairs.
You were watching the game with your dad.
I was watching the game with my dad. And I
sent so many messages and then called him like a stalker.
Where are you? Pick up, respond. I'm like, heartbeat, I'm going crazy.
Oh my God.
Like, whoa, my crush is feeling me. Anyway, and I was just shocked. But I was still so Big Sean had just released Single.
Yo, I remember that song.
He just released Single, and I went through a very like weird little situation with a certain person, and I was just like, yo, God, I'm taking the time to just chill. Like I'm not trying to talk to nobody and whatnot. I was still talking to some people, but
in other words, he was hoeing.
I was hoeing, but I was like, I just need to chill out, and I don't want to wreck this person's heart, but I also don't want this person to wreck me. Yeah. Right? I didn't want Nicole to just date me because she was trying to get over her ex or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at the time you had told me just how long you had been in that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, damn. I was like, this is a long time.
Yeah, I was really honest. I wanted to be upfront with him about that relationship because at the time that Neil and I actually started becoming friends, this person kind of popped back up. And there was a part of me that was still holding on to some form of reconciliation. Like maybe we could work it out. Though majority of me knew it was dead and it was time to pack up and move on. And my therapist was like, are you going to keep going on the merry-go-round or are you going to get off and actually start something new? And I had to make a choice. So I think around November, we actually started pursuing each other. We started dating. You and I started dating in November. And then December, that person had asked for me to meet up with them. And I had planned on it to just kind of like wipe my hands clean and just let them know where I was.
You're skipping by some like pretty like
What did I miss?
pivotal points. All right. Long story short, we were talking on Instagram. We had been talking on and off again.
Yeah.
And then I want to say sometime, I don't remember the exact date in November that you were like, yo, take my number.
November 4th.
November 4th, you were like, take my number.
Yes.
This was supposed to be just a simple conversation about where we were going to eat. Right?
Oh, yes, when I went back home.
And it turned out we got on the phone at 6 o'clock, 6:30. We didn't get off the phone until like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be just a 10, 20-minute conversation. And it went from talking about where we're going to eat. Do you want pizza? I'm a vegan.
I wasn't vegan.
It was vegan. And I was like, I'm not a vegan. I like this type of food. Yo, Jay-Z or Kanye West. That conversation alone probably lasted 2 hours. We jumped into several different conversations just in that span. And I was just like, yo, this is a really dope person.
And I felt the same way about you.
Yeah. I was just like, yo.
Which is why I was conflicted.
This is a really dope person, right? Fast forward. We kept speaking every single night.
Yes.
We would hop on the phone every single night. I would come home from work and I would just be excited to talk to this person. But I didn't tell her I had feelings for her or anything like that. Because I was like, yo, I'm still protecting my heart. Like, and I don't want to wreck her and I don't want her to wreck me. Yeah. Right? Crazier thing, right? Because I don't want to leave this part out. I was still talking to some other women at that time, right?
I told y'all he be hoeing.
I was talking to some other women at that time. And the crazy part, to this day, I still don't know how it happened.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how it happened, right? And it is so we started talking November 4th. This happened maybe a few days. This happened on that Friday or something like that. There was a particular girl I was talking to and we were supposed to link up, right? And she had told me like, yo, I'm going to send you a message. I'm going to send you a text one of these days. And when you're ready, like, we're going to link up. You need to hop in the Lyft.
We're going to link up. Y'all know what that means.
You need to hop in the Lyft, like, and bring yourself over here. So, mind you, I'm not thinking anything of it, right? One day, I think I text her, and I'm just like, yo, what's up? It's been a minute and whatnot. And she was like, yo, you mad funny. And I was like, bro, what are you talking about? And she was like, yo, you talk mad mess. Like, you talk all this game and whatnot. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she was like, yo, I sent you the text message, and you ghosted me. And I was like, bro, I'm looking through the text, like, flip my fault. I was flipping. What are you talking about? Like, I see no message, no nothing from her. She sends me a message, a screenshot of her responding, not once, but twice. It didn't get to my phone at all.
Look at Holy Spirit.
Yo, God was protecting, right? So that situation became a dub. A few days later is when we hopped on the phone call together and we started talking from there out, right? Yeah. From that moment, we started talking, and I don't know what day it was, but I remember we would pray every single night together. Every single night we would pray together and whatnot. And I think eventually, right, I finally confessed to you, and I'm telling you, like, yo, I actually do have feelings for you, right? And I told you my reason for hitting you up last year.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, I think I would have wrecked that, right?
Yep.
And even now I have to protect my heart or something like that.
Yeah.
And your response is,
there are feelings from this side of the gender spectrum as well, but I can't be led by my emotions.
Like she's a robot. Who responds and says, in other words, yeah, I'm feeling you?
Because like I was nervous. First of all, I hadn't like told a guy that I liked them in 7 years. So I was out of the game. And granted, I dated like 1 or 2 other people in between.
1 or 2.
Yeah, it was 2.
Wait, 4.
No, it wasn't. It was 2.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, you might be right. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. But I was okay. So what I'm used to is I was used to guys pursuing me, and if I liked them, I played hard to get, and like, yeah. But it wasn't something that I was like, okay, it's long term. So I didn't have to confess anything or be vulnerable at the time. So here comes this guy that I actually really like, and I'm like, dang, could this be my husband? Like, what the heck? I can't play the game the same way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd tell you that I liked you, but I didn't want to tell you that I liked you like that.
A weirdo.
I was.
Super weirdo. I don't know who says it like that. But anyway, we started talking, we started praying, and I think we're both on the same page with, yo, we both had our fun. We both played games and whatnot. And I let her know from jump, like, yo, in terms of relationships, I take relationships very serious.
Yeah.
Right. And if we get in this relationship, I didn't want to sound creepy, but I was like, yo, like, this is for keeps.
Yeah, that's why because you were playing for keeps, and I was very much so aware of that. That's why it scared me a little bit, because at that same time, my ex starts coming back into the picture, and we're not talking about getting back together or anything like that, but we're talking actively, like every couple of days or maybe every other week or whatever. So eventually Neil does ask me to be his girlfriend. I said no the first time. So I finally say yes to him, and we're having a great time. We're dating. I'm excited. But then my ex hits me up to actually link up. And I'm like, okay. And it's kind of like, let's just like talk about how things ended. So I'm like, okay, cool, no problems. I agreed to meet up with him, and I tell Neil about it. And I'm like, yo, like, I do kind of want to meet up with this person because I kind of want to settle it. Like, I think we need some closure. And a couple of days goes, Neil's okay with it at first. And then he hits me up like, I'm not okay with it, actually. So I'm like, dang, I actually have to make a hard cut with this person. And that's hard for me because this is somebody that I've dated off and on again for 7 years. I've also like lost my dad, and this person helped me grieve like after and helped me with that process. So I'm like, is this somebody that I'm really ready to cut off like all the way? And the more I thought about it, like the more I was like, yo, it's time. It's time to get off this merry-go-round. It's time to move forward. So I sent this person a text, and I was like, yo, like, this is it. Like, I don't need you to come. There's no meetup. This is where we're ending it. And after that, like, there was this freedom that I felt to love with everything I had. And I remember one of the last things I said to my father before he passed, he had a stroke, and I was on his bedside, and he was unresponsive. And I told him, like, Dad, if there's anything I'm going to promise you if you go, is that I'm going to love hard. Is that I'm going to love, and I'm going to love hard. And it took me some time to love hard with intention. Well, not with intention, but to love hard with freedom, I'll say. Because I had plenty of relationships afterwards, but none felt like this. And when I said yes to Neil and cut off my ex, it felt like I was fulfilling that promise to my father. And from then on, like, yeah, it just made sense. Loving him was easy. Like, and honestly, being loved by him was also refreshing. I used to tell Neil all the time, like, his heart felt like an extension of God's heart for me because of just how kind he was and just seeing how he loved other people and how he looked out for them. So it felt like the right decision, and I knew that I wasn't going to regret it. Not to say that we weren't going to face hardship moving forward, but I knew that that was the right decision for me. And I also knew that this was the person that God had placed in my life to help me to fulfill my purpose. And there were multiple times where there was evidence of that. So yeah, like I was not just excited to date somebody that I liked, but I was excited because I knew that I had met the person that God has sent for me.
Yeah. And this whole process has just been crazy.
Yeah.
It's been extremely crazy. And I wish we could get into every single thing that led us to this moment. And I feel like we'll break that down through many videos and whatnot. But yeah, we started dating in 2019. 2020 happens. The pandemic happens. A bunch of crazy stuff happens within our life. And we'll talk about that another time. But a lot of it confirmed that this is right.
Yeah.
This is what God wanted.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie and say there weren't any doubts and there weren't any moments where I was like, yo, all right, is this really going to happen? Can this actually happen? I proposed to Nicole and November 21st.
Yeah, November 21st, 2020. So we had been dating for a year by that time.
Yeah. And I proposed to her, probably one of the most scariest things I've ever done in my entire life. She said yes.
No, I didn't say yes. I said absolutely.
She did. And from that moment, life just started to happen.
Life started lifing.
Life just started lifing. And we started planning this wedding and whatnot. It took about 6 months to fully plan and get all the fine details together.
But we did it.
We did it. And
we did it. And
we are here now.
A year later. With a baby.
With a whole baby. And
in a different city.
A whole different city. For me, a whole different state.
Yeah.
For both of us, new jobs technically.
Yep.
And we are still figuring it out.
We are
still figuring it out. And like the name of this YouTube series,
figuring it out with the McKnights, it proves to be true. And again, we always ask, like, what have you learned? If there's anything I can say a year later of being married, almost 3 years later, of meeting, well, no, it was 3 years later of meeting my husband. I can say, like, don't give up, because you never know what God has in store for you in the most mundane of places. I never thought I would meet my husband on Instagram, ever. I'm going to meet him at my front door. I'm going to meet him like in the grocery store. I'm going to meet him in like this romantic place. Not at all. Met him in the mundane of my everyday on Instagram. And it turned out to be one of the best things that happened to me. So I just learned, I think overall I can say, don't give up. Don't give up. And don't limit yourself, because I think if I had limited myself to where I was going to meet my husband, I wouldn't have actually met my husband. So, what have you learned?
I have learned to trust God and trust love. Sounds super cliche, but if I would have, the same way that you said, like if I would have stayed in this mindset of fear of, I didn't think that you would want somebody like me. I didn't think I was your type. And if I would have stayed in that mindset and just been afraid to just kind of jump out there, I would have missed all of this.
Yeah.
You know, I would have missed having Nova. I would have missed having you. I would have missed just all the blessings that have come from this relationship and this union. So, I think that's what I would say to anybody. Give love another shot.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to jump out there.
Yeah.
And listen, the person that you are checking out on IG or wherever you're on, for the young kids, the TikTok.
I don't even know how to work the TikTok.
I don't know how to work the TikTok, but you could possibly find your person. On there. So
ladies, open your DMs.
That is the moral of the story.
Open your DMs.
This is gonna be the title of the podcast. Open your DMs, okay? Yeah, this was a dope episode. As always, the music that you are hearing is from our good brother Dean Nichols. All right, somewhere down here is gonna be his IG. Please check him out. Dope music.
Happy
Yeah.
anniversary.
Happy anniversary, guys.
I love you.
I love you too.
Are we gonna kiss? Me.
A lot of nose, bro.
Sorry.
I have to move my nose.
Oh yeah, you do.
Oh my god, big nose.
I love you.